There's no vindication for me because for 4 years I've been screaming not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it, it's long, where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this?
It's the headline that's rocking the entertainment world. Sean Diddy Combs, a music and business mogul who once exuded untouchable confidence and swagger, now finds himself in a Brooklyn detention center. Shockingly, reports suggest Diddy is refusing to eat, gripped by a chilling fear that someone might poison him. Yes, the same Diddy who built an empire on sheer charisma and dominance is now allegedly consumed by paranoia, surrounded by guards, inmates, and a system he believes could be weaponized against him. But the plot thickens. Whispers in the industry hint at an even more explosive twist. Could Diddy's former ally, the legendary Sean Jay-Z Carter, be connected to the chaos? Whether directly or indirectly, rumors suggest that one of hip-hop's most iconic friendships may have spiraled into a cold, silent war. Is this just speculation, or is there more to the story? Let's unravel the shocking details and uncover the truth behind the whispers shaking the music world to its core.
I'm not surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee. He has a civil...
Let's dive into Diddy's current predicament. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is no ordinary lockup. It's a facility infamous for its brutal conditions, violent clashes, and questionable safety protocols. It's a place that tests even the hardest of souls. For Diddy, a man accustomed to the opulence of private jets and sprawling mansions, the transition has been nothing short of devastating. Reports reveal he's been skipping the facility's meals, surviving instead on prepackaged snacks from the commissary, chips, honey buns, and the like. Allegedly, Diddy believes the food served within those walls could be laced with danger, setting the stage for a calculated and chilling end. It's a fear that speaks volumes about the psychological toll of confinement and the murky shadows looming over his case.
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in.
According to Larry Levine, a former inmate turned prison consultant, Diddy's fears may not be as far-fetched as they seem. Speaking on a podcast dedicated to Diddy's trial, Levine shed light on the unsettling realities of life as a high-profile inmate in a facility like the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC. People want to get to him, Levine explained. When you're someone of Diddy's stature, you're a target, both inside and out. All it takes is the right person with enough cash to bribe a guard, and suddenly, your meals aren't safe. It's not immediate, but over time, it could be fatal. The thought is as chilling as it is plausible. For a man like Diddy, surrounded by controversy, accusations, and a history of powerful connections and enemies, the risks are all too real. His fears may seem extreme to outsiders, but in the brutal world of MDC, paranoia might just be a survival instinct.
Obviously this civil suit was coming for a while, and there was some talk between Busby and Jay-Z's lawyers. I think both Busby and Jay-Z's lawyers are really alphas, so...
Observers have noted a striking transformation in Diddy's physical appearance during his recent court appearances. Once a beacon of vitality and unshakable confidence, he now appears visibly thinner, with streaks of gray betraying the toll of his circumstances. The stress of incarceration, coupled with his alleged refusal to eat proper meals, has left its mark. Yet, despite rumors of declining health, sources close to the music mogul insist he remains mentally sharp, laser-focused, and determined to fight the allegations against him. They describe a man who, while visibly weathered, is still in the game, strategizing his defense and preparing for the battles ahead. But here's where the story takes a darker twist. Diddy's fear of poisoning, it seems, isn't rooted in random violence or petty jealousies among inmates. Instead, whispers are growing louder, pointing to a betrayal that cuts much deeper, potentially from someone he once considered a brother. The name on everyone's lips? Jay-Z. To understand why this theory is gaining traction, we need to delve into the broader context of their relationship and the legal storm that now threatens to engulf them both.
You know, if you say the wrong thing or you complain or you know, I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or, you know, when they're constantly asking you, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs?
Diddy and Jay-Z once symbolized the pinnacle of hip-hop camaraderie. They attended each other's lavish parties, collaborated on chart-topping hits, and publicly applauded each other's business genius. Together, they represented two men who had transcended humble beginnings to reach extraordinary heights, seemingly united by an unspoken bond forged through shared struggles and triumphs. But in recent years, the cracks in their once solid relationship have grown impossible to ignore. Now, with both men entangled in a storm of allegations, lawsuits, and unrelenting public scrutiny, it appears their friendship has shattered completely. What was once a brotherhood now seems to be nothing more than a distant memory, replaced by suspicion and silence.
I don't know the consequences of what that could have been. So I didn't really talk about it. I should have gone to the police. I should have said something other than to my agent.
Some insiders suggest that Diddy and Jay-Z's falling out was inevitable, brewing quietly long before the current legal chaos erupted. For years, whispers of rivalry have shadowed their relationship, an unspoken but palpable competition between two titans of the hip-hop world. Both men are undeniable powerhouses, but their paths to success couldn't be more different. Diddy embraced the limelight, flaunting his wealth and exuding a larger-than-life persona. Jay-Z, on the other hand, played the long game, meticulously crafting an image of sophistication and strategy. This clash of styles reportedly led to subtle jabs and behind-the-scenes power plays, with each man vying for supremacy in influence and dominance. Fast forward to today, and the stakes have never been higher. Diddy's legal troubles are mounting, with accusations spanning exploitation to organized misconduct. Meanwhile, Jay-Z has also been named in lawsuits alleging shocking behavior. But here's the twist. While Diddy remains locked up and vulnerable, Jay-Z appears to be maneuvering to stay above the fray. Publicly, he's dismissed the allegations against him as absurd and baseless. Privately, however, sources claim he's taking a far more calculated and aggressive approach, one designed to shield his empire and secure his legacy, no matter the cost.
There is so many people involved in this situation that works the machine here, that, you know, Diddy's obviously the head of the whole situation, you know, the king of parties, but there is multiple other people involved that are helping along the situation or, you know, participating in some way.
Rumors are swirling that Jay-Z views Diddy as a liability, a ticking time bomb whose unraveling could threaten to bring him down as well. Insiders speculate that Jay-Z, ever the strategist, might be willing to go to extraordinary lengths to protect his empire, including severing ties with his former ally entirely. But could he go even further? Some whispers suggest that Jay-Z's calculated moves might extend into the shadows of Diddy's current predicament. Could he, as certain theories propose, be part of the reason Diddy feels so unsafe behind bars? There's no concrete evidence to back this claim, but in the murky world of high-profile scandals, where power, influence, and ambition collide, such possibilities can't be ruled out. In this game, alliances shift, motives are hidden, and the truth often remains buried under layers of speculation.
I agree, and the risk of flight was always going to be a tough argument for the government because obviously Combs voluntarily came to New York. He surrendered his passports through his lawyer. He could have fled after the March raids of his Miami and Los Angeles homes, but he didn't. He has access to 2 private jets. I think it was a tougher argument. I know the government made the argument, but clearly the best argument was the dangerousness and the witness tampering.
Adding fuel to an already raging fire, reports suggest that Diddy might be considering making deals to save himself. Insiders allege that these deals could involve providing information that implicates others, potentially even Jay-Z. If true, it would explain why Diddy feels like a target. Facing charges is one thing, but carrying the weight of being labeled a snitch is another, especially in the unforgiving code of the streets and the high-stakes world of hip-hop royalty, where betrayal is the ultimate sin. The tension between Diddy and Jay-Z has reached a boiling point, and the courtroom isn't the only battlefield. Public perception plays a colossal role in these dramas, and both men know it. Jay-Z, ever the master strategist, has been meticulous in controlling his narrative. Statements from his legal team emphasize his innocence, dismissing the lawsuits against him as baseless and desperate grabs for attention and money. Meanwhile, Diddy's camp has remained unusually quiet, likely constrained by his current situation. But in the world of media and speculation, silence often speaks volumes. With every unanswered question, the whispers grow louder and the stakes grow higher.
Sean had to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
On one side, there's Diddy, a man who once seemed untouchable, now facing the harsh realities of incarceration and the growing fear that someone may be orchestrating his downfall. The possibility that his enemies are targeting him with the intent to remove him permanently looms large, adding to the intensity of his predicament. On the other side stands Jay-Z, a figure who appears to be meticulously controlling his narrative, distancing himself from the chaos while subtly reinforcing his innocence. At the center of this storm is a web of accusations, lawsuits, and decades of shared history now unraveling into a ticking time bomb. The bond between Diddy and Jay-Z has fractured, and in its wake, they are left locked in a battle where perception, loyalty, and survival hang in the balance.
He got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got it after. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
As the narrative unfolds, one thing becomes clear. This isn't merely a legal battle, it's a fight for survival, reputation, and legacy. With so many players, shifting motives, and hidden agendas at play, the truth may be even more shocking than the rumors. Could Diddy's fears of poisoning be rooted in paranoia, or is there something more sinister at work? And if Jay-Z is, in fact, pulling strings behind the scenes, how far would he go to protect himself? The story of Sean Diddy Combs and Sean Jay-Z Carter once embodied the strength of brotherhood in the music industry, a partnership that appeared unshakable. Now, however, what was once a celebrated friendship between two of hip-hop's most influential figures has crumbled under the weight of accusations, power struggles, and whispers of betrayal. As Diddy sits in his cell at the Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center, refusing meals and visibly deteriorating, one question looms. How did it come to this? To fully understand the complex picture, we must rewind the clock and explore the history of these two titans, friends turned foes, and the events that led them down this chaotic path.
You understand? I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public.
It wasn't always this way. There was a time when Diddy and Jay-Z represented the pinnacle of success, not just in music, but in business as well. They weren't just collaborators, they were allies. Diddy, with his bold, larger-than-life personality, and Jay-Z, with his calculated, strategic approach to business, complemented each other in ways that made them an unstoppable duo. They shared stages, celebrated each other's triumphs, and supported one another's ventures. Their friendship wasn't merely professional, it was personal. In interviews, they often spoke of their mutual respect, sharing a deep understanding of each other's journeys in a way few others could. Both rose from humble beginnings in the streets of New York, transforming themselves into cultural icons. Together, they embodied the idea of unity, strength, and triumph over adversity. But now, that bond seems like a distant memory.
We have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit.
In the late 1990s and early 2000s, their bond seemed unshakable. They collaborated on hit tracks, appeared at each other's events, and even stood side by side at charitable fundraisers. One of the most memorable moments came in 2005 when they donated $1 million to the American Red Cross in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. That gesture wasn't just about the money. It symbolized something far greater. It was two powerful black men coming together to make a difference. At the time, Diddy told reporters, "We're all brothers and sisters, and when one of us is hurting, we all feel it." Jay-Z echoed that sentiment, emphasizing the importance of unity. They were, without a doubt, a united front, two forces who appeared inseparable, sharing both their triumphs and their commitment to a greater cause.
Rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
But beneath the smiles and handshakes, cracks were beginning to form. Industry insiders have long speculated that the root of their fallout was driven by a combination of ego and competition. Both men were vying for the same throne, and while they outwardly supported each other, an unspoken rivalry began to brew beneath the surface. Diddy was known for his flashy, over-the-top lifestyle, private jets, extravagant parties, and public displays of wealth. Jay-Z, on the other hand, cultivated an image of calculated sophistication, preferring subtlety and restraint. Their differing approaches to success created friction, with each man convinced that his path was the right one. The divide wasn't just professional, it was personal. Both men saw their methods as superior, leading to subtle jabs and power plays that gradually eroded the bond they once shared.
Statement. Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you?"
As both men expanded their empires, things took a darker turn. Diddy's ventures into fashion, spirits, and television were met with mixed reactions, while Jay-Z's forays into tech, sports management, and streaming were widely praised. The media began to favor Jay-Z, positioning him as the business mogul of the future, while Diddy's reputation became increasingly tied to his flamboyant persona. This shift in public perception fueled the growing tension between them, with Diddy feeling overshadowed by his former ally. The rivalry reached new heights in the mid-2010s when rumors circulated that Diddy had been excluded from high-profile deals involving Jay-Z's Roc Nation. Sources claimed that Diddy felt betrayed, believing Jay-Z had used their friendship to gain access to opportunities before cutting him out. Jay-Z, for his part, reportedly saw Diddy as a liability, someone whose unpredictable behavior and controversial past could jeopardize his meticulously curated image. The whispers of betrayal grew louder, and while neither man ever publicly acknowledged the feud, their interactions became noticeably colder.
He, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down.
The fallout between Diddy and Jay-Z is impossible to ignore. The lawsuits, accusations, and media frenzy have only fueled the fire. Diddy's legal troubles are well documented, but what's more intriguing is Jay-Z's calculated silence. While Diddy sits in a cell, fighting for his reputation and freedom, Jay-Z has been busy crafting his narrative. His legal team has dismissed the allegations against him, labeling them as baseless and opportunistic. But behind the scenes, sources claim Jay-Z is doing everything in his power to distance himself from Diddy, even if it means throwing his former friend under the bus. One source close to the situation described Jay-Z's approach as cold and strategic. Jay-Z sees Diddy's downfall as an opportunity to solidify his own position as the uncontested king of hip-hop. If Diddy's sinking, Jay's making sure he's nowhere near the water. Another insider claims Jay-Z has quietly cut ties with anyone associated with Diddy, ensuring his name remains untarnished.
With respect to the evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress.
The tension between the two men has even spilled into their families. Beyoncé, Jay-Z's wife, and one of the most influential women in the world, has reportedly urged her husband to stay as far away from the drama as possible. According to sources, Beyoncé is deeply protective of her family's brand and refuses to let Diddy's scandals cast a shadow over their empire. She's not about to let anyone mess with what they've built, an insider revealed. Beyoncé has been very clear that Jay needs to keep his distance. Meanwhile, Diddy's inner circle has gone eerily silent, with many of his longtime allies seemingly abandoning him during his time of need.
Simply allegations, need to be proven in a court of law, but if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and, we'll see what happens if the DA looks and investigates.
Perhaps the most shocking development is the speculation that Jay-Z might be actively working against Diddy. Some believe Jay-Z's legal team has been feeding information to prosecutors, ensuring that Diddy's legal troubles continue to mount. While there's no concrete evidence to support this theory, the timing of certain events has raised eyebrows. For example, shortly after Diddy's arrest, Jay-Z's team issued a series of statements emphasizing his innocence and distancing him from the allegations. This move was widely seen as a calculated attempt to shift the narrative, leaving Diddy to face the brunt of the backlash. Diddy, for his part, is reportedly aware of the betrayal. Sources claim he's been watching Jay-Z's actions closely from behind bars and isn't happy with what he's seeing. According to one insider, Diddy feels abandoned and betrayed by someone he once considered a brother. Diddy's always been about loyalty, and he feels like Jay's turned his back on him when he needed him the most, the source said. As the legal battles unfold, the question remains, is this the end of Diddy and Jay-Z's story, or is there more to come? Their friendship, once a symbol of unity and success, has become a cautionary tale about the dangers of power and betrayal. While the truth behind their fallout may never fully be known, one thing is certain: their story is far from over. Whether they choose to reconcile or continue down separate paths, the legacy of their friendship will forever be overshadowed by the events that tore them apart.
A lot of times lawsuits are like playing poker. Like even when you feign, that you have strength, it could be that you have some weakness in your case. So Busby's never going to say that he doesn't have the evidence. I mean, Busby's always going to say he's got the evidence. He's always going to say, oh, we're going to look at multiple other people, we're going to do all this, because he wants to put that fear into that individual.
The saga of Diddy and Jay-Z serves as a reminder that even the strongest alliances can crumble under the weight of ambition and betrayal. As the world watches their story unfold, one can't help but wonder what could have been if these two giants had stood together instead of tearing each other apart. Perhaps more importantly, who will emerge victorious in this battle? Only time will tell. So, what do you think? Could Jay-Z really be behind Diddy's fears of poisoning? Or is this all just a case of paranoia run wild? And what about Beyoncé? How do you think she fits into this complex web of betrayal and power struggles? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take on this ongoing saga. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more celebrity gossip and insider news. Until next time, stay tuned and stay curious.